There are over 68 million dog owners in the US alone. And last year, they spent over $10 billion on apparel and accessories showing off their furry friends. In this video, I'm going to build a dog print-on-demand apparel brand from scratch, showing you exactly how I'd research the market, angle the brand, and even think through the designs so that by the end, you'll have the full blueprint to stand out in the dog niche. Now, dog owners are absolutely obsessed and they buy like it. That emotion, it's going to be our edge. So let's get into the board and break this down. The first step to building a brand comes down to your niche selection. Now, we've already selected the dog niche, but we want to still dig into this niche a little bit more to help determine exactly how we want our brand to go and look and feel. So I like to start off my search just by looking at general dog t-shirts. I'm looking at the design styles. Are they typically typography? Are they a lot of just graphics? Is it graphics with typography? What kind of art style is it? Do they go for more line art? Are they more detailed, more simplified type of designs? So this gives me a good overall feel for what the overall general niche is looking for. So for the most part, I see a lot of typography. I've also seen a lot of ways that people have used dogs with holidays and getting that vibe across. I've also seen some line art of kind of dog ears as well as like dog paws, hearts, that kind of stuff. And then we see some of like these funny, more retro-like designs. This is a great starting point. Now, if this was back in 2020, I didn't have any cool AI tools or really anything like that to use. For the case of this video, I used all GPTs. So I used AI to do everything that I am about to show you. Now, in 2020, this used to take me days, if not weeks. I'd be researching on Etsy, Amazon, Google. I'd be doing deep research, like reading different articles about the niche and the market and all of that. Now, ChatGPT has essentially put this completely on easy mode. So the way that I kicked this off was by actually using our WeScale POD brand builder. Now, this GPT is your one-step strategist that takes your interests and helps you find a niche if you haven't yet selected one. It'll also do some niche validation. It'll do some research for you, as well as help you come up with brand names, create your logo, etc. This is a great one-stop shop GPT for really getting everything off the ground and running. Now, don't worry, I'm not gatekeeping this GPT. If you're interested in grabbing it, just click the link in the description below and I'll send it right over to you. But essentially, I asked the GPT to create a print-on-demand dog niche, but I want to start with a single dog breed, because essentially my plan is to really dial in and kind of templatize my designs. So that way, when I go into different breeds, I can basically copy paste those designs and just swap out the breed. So I asked, really give me an analysis for each of the breeds that are the biggest breeds in the US. Give me the market size and the demand. What's the community passion around these breeds? And overall, what's the competition and the saturation within each of them? If you're interested in grabbing this board so that you have all the prompts that you can use yourself, don't worry, I'm sending this over to you with the GPT as well. But essentially it broke down the 20 top breeds in the US. So it gave me French Bulldog, Labrador Retriever, pretty much all top 20. So now I know what my first 20 collections are going to be. And from there, it broke down the interests, what the community is like, the saturation. This is like a full detailed breakdown of all of that data and information, which is super useful. So of course I'm starting off with French Bulldogs because that's what the AI is telling me to do. And it breaks down why exactly it's a first strong choice. So it's very top in popularity according to the American Kennel Club. It has this really cool visual appeal. It's strong, loyal, merch hungry community, which we absolutely love in the print on demand space. Good mix of urban appeal, and differentiation is definitely possible with this breed, which is awesome. That's exactly what we're looking for when we are starting one of these stores. From there, I asked for funny brand names that we could use. Overall, it gave me a whole list to choose from. Now, the one that stood out to me was Good Boy Outfitters, but I didn't love how it only tailored towards boys. So what I ended up doing was say, make it Good Dog Outfitters. So it did, said great choice, made the logo for me. So overall, I think this looks pretty good. It's on a dog tag, which I think is fitting. Overall, the dog's very simple because my plan is to have multiple dog collections within this brand. So overall, really happy with this. Now moving on. Before we get into step number 2, the amount of time that it took for myself back in 2020 when I was going through this the first time, or if you were a brand new seller and you're trying to get your feet wet and understand all these things, this GPT can absolutely speed it up for you. I have worked with hundreds of sellers at this point, and there are some that will take weeks coming up with their brand name, buying their domain, making their logo. Like I've had some people that are like, I've been working on my logo for 3 weeks. Your logo should take no longer than 10 minutes because this is something that we can change at any point in time. So this GPT can speed up this process dramatically. Now, the second step to building a brand is actually doing deep niche research. So what exactly do I mean by this? It's really important to truly understand our audience. So we really want to connect and know who exactly is our buyer. What are they interested in? How much money do they make? Where do they typically live? What are their jobs? Like I want to know everything I could possibly know about Frenchie dog owners because this is going to be the way that I can create designs that truly resonate with them. So in order to do this, I actually use the WeScale Audience Persona GPT. Now, this GPT is built to help beginners come up with catchy copy for their ads, give you niche ideas, as well as detailed buyer personas. So that way you truly know your buyer probably better than they know themselves, which is pretty crazy. But essentially, I gave this GPT a prompt where I wanted to know everything from the owner's psychology to the design themes, t-shirt idea basics. I wanted graphic design ideas, typography design ideas, a mixture of both, as well as emotional triggers of these dog owners so that I can essentially create designs that are going to be a no-brainer for them to buy. And it gives me a full owner psychology, as you can see, everything here, and continues on to break down core design themes about the breed that I should tap into, and then 22 t-shirt design ideas. This is crazy. Now, from these 22 design ideas, I then am starting to get, the balls rolling, the wheels are turning in my brain, thinking of all the things that I could potentially design. And from there, I go out and I do more research. And I like to look specifically at now French Bulldog t-shirts on Etsy, Amazon. I'll do a Google search as well, just to get an idea of like, okay, what's the overall style? What are things that are trending for this dog breed? Why are they potentially trending? And so there's a lot of these simplistic designs. Some of them are really funny, like emotional support potato, or this one with them floating in outer space. Like this is just like ridiculous looking. More kind of like this retro type of vibe. I'm seeing that kind of in multiple searches, and then little silhouettes of their like short stocky body, and then puns and plays on them being French. So a lot of Parisian type of styles and vibes. So now that I have an idea of like what is actually popular, what are people looking for, and now I have 22 ideas based off of deep research, I can then move on to step 3, which is actually designing for this niche. Now, your designs are going to be the most important part of this entire process, because I know when we are selling print on demand, a lot of people think that the product we are selling is t-shirts, but really the product is the design, because that is what is having us stand out from everybody else. You can go to Target, you can go to Walmart, you can buy a t-shirt pretty much anywhere, but it's our particular super niched down dog brand that is going to get people coming back time and time again. And like when their friend has a birthday coming up and they absolutely love their dog, they're going to come to our brand and they're going to buy one of our t-shirts because they're witty, they're funny, they're different from anything else that you would see out on the market or in a Target, Walmart, one of those stores. So in order to create these designs, I use the WeScale T-shirt Designer GPT. Now this GPT is trained based off of the best practices with designing for graphic t-shirts. It's going to take into account negative space. It's going to actually create it on a transparent background so that you don't have to remove anything. It's also taking into effect, it's going to keep designs a little bit more simplistic because that's what works on t-shirts. So a lot of like the in-depth type of prompting that you had to do before, you absolutely can bypass all of this and simply just throw in your ideas and the GPT is going to to spit stuff out like this. So what I created was a lot of different types of designs, because the goal with building a brand is having a design that kind of works for everybody. So yes, it's niche down. We're focused on French bulldogs, but at the same time, you're going to see these designs are all very different from one another, and they're going to speak to a different type of French bulldog owner. Like this one here, we have a play on Paris and France. So it's wee wee with a dog. I just thought that was kind of funny because like you have to take your dog out to pee and stuff, playing off of that at all. But then we have this dog kind of like kinked out and laying down, and he's just like, pardon my French, but, and then I used a play off of a curse word here. So I thought that was funny because it's like, oh my gosh, pardon my French. Like, I can't believe I said that. So I thought that was kind of funny. We also have kind of a pop culture type of French bulldog design, which could definitely work because a lot of their owners tend to live more in like urban city environments. And then just kind of some funny designs that are in there. We have, you know, the French bulldog, the very serious French bulldog in outer space, which is just kind of funny because they're like these small but mighty dogs. We have this design here, who you call them Potato, because a lot of them get called Potato because they're kind of just like these lumpy little dogs. So, you know, just a little chunky bulldog there, but I thought that was funny. And then this one was a play on French counting, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Typically, the design I've seen with this has particularly been with cats, but essentially you can switch it out and just have, you know, French bulldog, French bulldog, French bulldog, and then French bulldog cuddling a cat, which is kind of funny because of the fact the counting's in French. We have that pop culture type of vibe with the dog on the drum set, Parisian French bulldog drinking coffee at a Paris cafe. Typography, life happens, Frenchies help because they're really funny and they're usually people's like little shadows. And then this one was my favorite design that it came up with because French bulldogs are so stubborn and they just have like a mind of their own. It was taking all these different commands and basically the dog just like not listening. So sitting with the dog standing, lying down, standing, fetch, shake, you know, so funny. And then stay, the dog's just nowhere to be found. So I think this one would resonate really well with anybody who owns a French bulldog. So if you're somebody who's interested in, you know, copying this, go for it. And let me know in the comments if you get any sales from this, because I made this and I was like, wow, I want to do a French bulldog store now because I think that that design would absolutely crush. And then I was kind of thinking, you know, what could be a kind of different way to name this collection? Like we could always just call it like French bulldog collection, but I'm kind of thinking it could be funny to change the names a little bit of like Bat Ears and Sass collection, just because they have kind of those Batman looking ears with this like sassy, stubborn personality. And then in parentheses, we could have AKA Frenchies. Now, I don't know, I'd have to play around with it, but I think that could be a funny way to potentially immediately connect and talk to somebody who's landing on your site. Now, we just need to keep doing this 100 times, and then we have a full collection that essentially is ready for us to launch and move into the next step of building a brand. And that next step is actually uploading our designs into Printify. Now, I want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Printify. I've been working with Printify since 2020 when I started my print-on-demand journey. Now, the reason that this is so important for building a brand is because your print provider and who you choose, it's a huge factor in how people perceive your brand. Now, the reason that I love Printify is because I need a few things from my print provider. The first being the cheapest pricing. I want the best pricing in the game because at the end of the day, I am here to make money. I'm here to make profit. And if you are working with an overpriced printer, it makes it really hard to get to the margin that you're hoping for. My goal is always to be 15% or above. And if I wasn't working with Printify, there was no way that I would ever be hitting that margin. They also give you control over your business. Now, Printify essentially works as a middleman. They allow you to connect with other print-on-demand providers, which is awesome. They connect you with printers all around the world, printers that have so many hundreds, if not thousands of different products, and you get the ability to essentially pick who you want to work with. Now, this is great because we can look at the shipping ratings and the speeds and the quality of their prints and really get an idea of the printer that we are working with. Now, this is something that's extremely important because it gives you ultimate control over your brand and your business. There are other print providers that don't have this ability to work with other printers, to be able to go out and shop and see who you actually want to partner with and work on your brand with. Because again, guys, this is a huge factor in how people perceive you and the brand that you are building. Now, the last thing you want is cheap products or super slow shipping times, because all that's going to do is affect your brand. So if you're somebody who's interested in getting started with Printify, just click the link in the description description below. I left a link there for you, and use the code WeScale to get a full month of Printify Premium completely for free. Enough about uploading those designs. Once that's all done, the last step to building this brand comes down to the overall branding. Now we have a really good idea because we have the majority of our designs. We have that kind of vibe of how the brand's going to look and feel. We also already have our logo picked out, but essentially I wanted to break down a cheat sheet. I went back to the WeScale print-on-demand brand builder and asked it to give me a one-page cheat sheet that I can essentially use across everything. So as I'm creating my Shopify store, I'm making images to put on my Shopify store, I'm creating social media posts or anything like that, I want things to stay consistent. So I basically asked everything that we've talked about and discussed in the conversations about this brand, give me a one-page cheat sheet that I can use to, hand to anybody that would be working on this brand with me, or that I can use time and time again. And so it came up with a really great cheat sheet for me. A playful meets polished lifestyle brand celebrating dog breeds quirks through preppy wearable graphics. Gave me a tone and voice, so woody, warm, clever, not snarky, positive and punchy with a touch of prep charm. It also gave me brand colors that I can continue to use, all the hex codes, as well as different fonts that I can use that work really nicely together and kind of give that vibe. It also suggested, it liked the logo that I had, but suggested that I would change the colors slightly. So this is really great that we can use this. It also gave me some different collection ideas, but essentially I changed the colors of the logo to match more of what that brand vibe is going to look like. Because the original logo definitely looked like more of an outdoors type of vibe, like maybe like a hiking dog niche. But again, we're going broad. We're keeping it just down to the breed. So my key takeaways for building this brand: pick one brand first, go deep, connect emotionally with that buyer, and nail those inside jokes and breed characteristics. That way we can really play off of that when we expand into other collections for other dog breeds. The second would be test lots of designs. We want to give ourselves enough shots on goal to find those winners. Now, this is going to be something that's really important specifically for a brand built this way, because we want to get so many designs just in one particular niche to really start being confident in being able to duplicate that out into those other breeds. And you're only going to get all that data and all that information by testing hundreds of designs just for Frenchies. Now, finally, we want to be thinking like a brand and not a commodity store. A lot of the dog niche designs, dog niche brands that are out there, they're really generic and general. Our idea is to turn this into a brand and really make it stand out. So there you have it. These are the 5 steps that I take whenever I'm creating a brand new brand from scratch. Now, if you're somebody who's interested in grabbing all the GPTs that we talked about today, as well as this board so that you have it as a reference and you can look at the prompts, just click the link in the description below and I'll send it right to your inbox. If you enjoyed this topic and you're looking for more print-on-demand videos like this, then please like and subscribe to my channel. It would absolutely mean the world to me. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.